After an incredible sophomore season at Murray State, Morant was turning NBA scouts' heads. With unbelievable averages of 25 points, 10 assists, and 6 rebounds per game in college, as well as an NCAA tournament appearance, Morant worked his way up draft boards and was ultimately selected at number 2 in the 2019 NBA draft. Since then, Ja has put up solid numbers for a struggling Grizzlies franchise, and he has given them some hope. However, don't let the stat line fool you. Ja is nowhere near the star-level projections that many people have given him. Today, we are going to talk about all the flaws in Ja Morant's game and why he isn't quite at the brink of being a star. Normally, I would look at the offensive and defensive impact of a player to determine their overall worth, but defense isn't really a factor here, because to put it simply, Ja is not a great defender. To show you what I mean, I'll quickly show some of his defensive stats, but I don't think anybody would contest to that. He's not an impactful defender to his team, and overall, he just doesn't show any defensive IQ or hustle. To be fair to him, however, a lot of starting point guards are pretty bad defenders as well, so let's just carry on. Let's take a look at the offensive game of Ja Morant. Scoring-wise, it's pretty simple to me. Ja is not a great scorer. If you look at his base stats, you'll see 19 points per game on 45% shooting and think that I'm wrong. But allow me to explain. Nearly 65% of his shot attempts are in the paint, and he shoots 62% at the rim, which is pretty impressive to be honest. However, the paint is the only place where he is somewhat prolific as a scorer. To highlight just how bad his scoring efficiency is, his effective field goal percentage is bottom 15 in the league, at 48%. That's only 1% better than Russell Westbrook, who is notoriously known as arguably the worst high-volume jump shooter in the NBA. And if we're talking impact, it's just more of the same. As you can see here, his scoring impact and relative true shooting numbers are both in the negative, displaying how non-impactful his scoring game actually is, and how seemingly little he contributes to hitting shots. This kind of actually explains why the Grizzlies are the only team in the NBA to not have a 20-plus points per game scorer this year. And from his spacing rating and three-point proficiency, you can see that he isn't helping to spread the floor for his teammates either. But again, this makes sense since he is shooting less than 30% from beyond the arc, and he's very reluctant to take a jump shot. The only really solid part of his overall game to me is his playmaking. He shows pretty good playmaking value, although it isn't really elite enough to be considered star level. The same can be said about his box creation and passer ratings. Good, but not elite. It does show, however, that he is able to contribute in other ways besides scoring, and he is a huge part of why his team averages almost 27 assists per night. I want to end this video by saying that I think Ja has an extremely bright future, but he also has a lot of things to improve on. His offensive game has to be more than just one-dimensional. He is extremely exploitable to defenders, which isn't a good thing, especially in meaningful games. Developing a consistent jump shot and a serviceable free throw form would do him wonders. Ja Morant possesses great leadership qualities, and I do think that if he can put it all together, he will one day be a top point guard in the NBA.